Welcome to Bon Park in Lyons, Colorado, as we get ready for the Elite Women's Colorado State Cyclocross Championship. We are anticipating a great race here today, 40 minutes of action. It's worth noting this is the largest field that we have ever assembled on the start line as we take a look at our women's field. It was a little chaotic at the start. You can see Carrie Barnholt right there on the inside, one of our race favorites, racing for Tokyo Joe's, Ann Lannon having a terrific start. And there's one of America's top mountain bikers near the front, Heather Erminger, racing for the Gary Fisher team. So picking up Laura Krebs has got the whole shot. Great job by Krebs, showing you the massive amount of power that she's brought from the road here to the cyclocross. Laura, not really known as a cyclocross specialist, but she's leading them out. You can see the charge coming behind her from Carrie Barnholt. As a matter of fact, on a very sloppy day, Barnholt is now looking like she's going to seize control of the lead, showing the beautiful form that she's got. Barnholt really is one of the top 5 cyclocross racers in the United States. You can see these riders really banging their way through that sector of the course. The reason why? It's one of the few places where you can pass. This course, you can see there's one good line. They call it a blue groove. And as you take a look at that groove, this is really one of those sections where you can see Natasha Cowley going ballistic right there. We really like to compare this sport to bike racing meets steeplechase, and that's a big part of why right there is that ability to remount the bike smoothly, as we see Amy Dombrowski. Wow, Amy Dombrowski coming good right now. Not really a great remount right there. She loses a little bit of momentum, but she found her way to the front. Ann Lannon, our early leader, continues to battle. She's up in the top 5 right now. Racing for the University Bikes team is Becca Menke, looking good there. Menke new to the Colorado scene this year. This is her first Colorado State Championships. As we look at what was a very challenging course today, no question about it. And they're trying to nail back Carrie Barnholt. That in yellow is Laura Krebs, but look at this, is Dombrowski sensational. Just going to the whip right there, finding the energy to pass. Looks like Krebs maybe even giving Dombrowski the good line here. And as she does, Megan Monroe is coming hard. There is Allison Powers. I believe this is her second cyclocross race of the year. Flashing forward to the front. And it looks like Carrie Barnholt is relentless in her pursuit of a Colorado State Championship here. That was Velobel rider Amy Dombrowski, and now we're looking at the back of Laura Krebs as she brings it back up to speed. You can see how the cyclocross really, it's about being able to carry your momentum through these sections. As Megan Monroe does a good job, you can see the riders behind her as Nicole Duke there. That is Ann Lannon now. Ann Lannon, one of the stylistically best riders in the field here. That's Shawnee Brenner finding her way back onto the pedals. It was 15 degrees at the start. Once again, updating our top 3. It is Carrie Barnholt on the front. Amy Dombrowski's moved up into second. Slotting in at third right now is Laura Krebs. You are looking at really what a lot of people are calling the future of cyclocross. Amy Dombrowski there. She comes through. Some of these ladies here working hard. Fans were out in force today. That's a big, big part of cyclocross. It's a 40-minute sufferfest. No question these riders go through intense amounts of agony over the course of this race, and having the fans out there cheering you on makes just such a big difference. We watch Shawnee Brenner continuing to work hard. There's Jen Tilley and Natasha Cowley. Danielle Holman on the Hot Tubes team is a 10-time national champion on the road and cyclocross bike. Holman, the youngest rider in the race. We talked about these riders' background. Well, Amy Dombrowski comes from the world of skiing, competitive alpine skiing, where she was sensational, and she's now heading to Fort Lewis College to compete collegiately on the bike. Carrie Barnholt is methodically picking this race apart lap by lap through one of the very treacherous, dangerous sections of the course. Riders were dumping through here constantly throughout the day. You're looking at our elite women's race, once again to bring you up to speed. Carrie Barnholt riding her own race, where Dombrowski being forced to chase Amy, hopping off the bike there. We look back at the riders now trying to chase back Dombrowski, is trying to get on this podium. It's going to be tough today. There's Krebs. She had a great start, and she's holding on. We're going to take a very short break and join Brandon Dwight at Boulder Cycle Sport as we learn more about this fantastic sport of cyclocross.
Hi, I'm Brandon Dwight, and we're here at Boulder Cycle Sport. This is the Time Cross Pro Team cyclocross bike. One of the main differences between this bike and a traditional road bike is that it has brake mounts for cantilever brakes. This allows larger diameter tires on the bike and also allows for more mud clearance. And a cyclocross bike will usually have a bigger triangle, which allows for shouldering of the bike, and it'll also have a geometry that'll put the rider in more of a upright riding position as opposed to a more aerodynamic road position. Another difference is top tube cable routing. Cyclocross bikes will have them mounted to the top. Mud tends to collect on this part of the frame, so having the cables on the top will keep them cleaner and keep your shifting and braking more smooth and precise. Cyclocross bikes will also have tires with a knobby tread pattern on them. You can run a really low tire pressure and it'll give you a lot more traction, but if the course is very smooth and has a lot of pavement, you may want to run it a little bit higher pressure so that it's a little bit more efficient. The cyclocross bike is usually going to have mountain bike style pedals on it. Racers have to get off their bikes and run with their bikes, and it's much easier to run in mountain bike shoes than it is in road shoes.
As we pick up the action at the front, Carrie Barnholt continuing to dominate here today. I mean, she just looks so comfortable at this point. Barnholt, Dombrowski, and Lindsay Bishop. That is great to see. Bishop has found her way up into the top three. This is going to be the ride of the year for Lindsay as she continues to chase that woman, Amy Dombrowski of the Velo Bella team. There is Bishop. I tell you, she has certainly made her mark today. We've not seen Lindsay out on the circuit all that much this year, but I think with this result at the Colorado State Championships, Lindsay Bishop is now truly a danger woman as we look at Boulder Cycle Sport rider Nicole Duke up in the top 5, where she continues to battle with this woman, Heather Erminger. Large field took the start, probably the largest that we've ever seen in Colorado, with over 40 women on the line. The rest of the field continues to chase. Once again, this group was not only large, but highly combative here today as we watch some fantastic racing as you watch the rest of the field now continuing to chase. Kat Johnson coming through, a vegan in our field. That's been her message this year. You can see on the back of her kit there, Go Vegan. Barnholt continues to decimate this field. Carrie Barnholt has represented the United States already at the World Championships on the cyclocross bike and mountain bike through the 90s and 2000s. She's been one of the top 3 American riders, and she's doing it again here today. Dombrowski continues to chase. The gap has gone to about 25 seconds. It's even grown a little more. Dombrowski, unfortunately, did not have a good start because she's obviously got great form today. Lindsay Bishop, now Bishop in third. They're all working their way through some traffic at this point. Riders with different techniques here. Every now and then you get stuffed as you make your way up to the barriers. 20-year-old Amy Dombrowski is still your silver standard. You see no fear at all. The clothing today that these riders are having to wear, the temperature right now is right around 15 degrees at this point. Women's race taking the start at 2 o'clock, and boy, they really are bundled up. It makes it very, very tough to do what you're seeing them do right there through the barrier section with all that clothing on. You're kind of a little bit restricted, and the riders certainly having to overcome a lot of obstacles here today. At some point, you're going to crash today, as just about every rider in the field is going to come to grief at one time or another. You're really just kind of doing damage control. There's a lot of reasons why you see these dismounts in the sport. Part of it is to test these skills, because this is what makes cyclocross so unique, is this ability to shoulder your bike and run with it. We've already talked about the steeplechase aspect, but if you go back to 50 years ago when cyclocross was really coming to be, a big part of it was trying to keep the speeds down because it is so cold outside. If you're going to be doing road racing, you're going to be absolutely freezing on any descent. There's no descending in cyclocross. You're never really moving faster than 15 miles an hour. The incredible amount of effort it takes to move that fast keeps your engine, keeps your body very warm. And it's certainly this also here, by making the riders run, you force the circulation, you get the blood working. Theoretically, it keeps them a little bit warmer. Oh, it's getting sketchy. Look at Nicole Duke right there as her bike starting to jackknife on her. There's another great story today. One of the fastest women in the country, that was Allison Powers of the Colavita team. As we take a look at Natasha Cowie, she's from Georgia originally, moving to Boulder and racing for the Velo Bella team. they all come filing through the most challenging sector, including Shawnee Brenner, make their way over that barrier section. That's great form right there. As a matter of fact, you have to say that Danielle Hallman at 17 years old probably has technically the best skills in the field. And as she develops her engine, makes her way into her career, it's going to be very interesting to see. But you can see now the fatigue is really starting to wear on these riders. They've just been grinding away out there. Legs or your hands are starting to go numb. But that woman doesn't look like she's feeling any ill effects. Our leader remains Carrie Barnholt. Amy Dombrowski doing everything she can to try to bring her back. And it looks like that's a done deal. So our ACA Colorado Cyclocross Championship, our senior women, it's Carrie Barnholt taking the win, the silver medal going to Amy Dombrowski. An incredible ride today from Lindsay Bishop. She came out of nowhere to end up on the podium as Heather Erminger and Megan Monroe round out our top 5. What a race it was. We'll be right back as we're going to take a short break and join Brandon Dwight over at Boulder Cycle Sport for some more insight on the sport of cyclocross.
There's a lot of ways you can carry your bike. There's 2 ways you're going to carry your bike in a cyclocross race. One is what we call the suitcase, and that's where you lift from the top tube and just lift the bike straight up to get it over a barrier or upstairs or over a culvert or whatever the course might offer. The best way to suitcase the bike is to grab the top tube right in the center. If you grab it too far forward, you're going to lift the front end and the back end's not going to be lifted high enough. If you grab it from the back of the top tube, you'll lift the back end high, but the top tube will stay too low and you might whack it onto the barrier or whatever you're trying to get over. So it's best to grab it right in the center in a nice even spot where the bike is level when you lift it. The second way you're going to carry a cyclocross bike is reaching for the down tube in the center up onto your shoulder. You're going to bring your arm underneath the down tube and grab onto the handlebars. It allows you to run efficiently without the end of the saddle hitting you in the back of the head. If the bike is too far forward, you run the risk of the handlebar hitting you in the face when you're running. So I can let go and the bike stays level. That's a good place to have the bike resting.
Welcome to our elite men's race as we get ready for 1 hour of intensity here in Lyons. This is Jeremy Horgan-Kabelski, American Olympian on the mountain bike. What he's doing right there is a combination of showing off and cleaning the rear wheel as the riders get ready. A lot of anticipation for today's race in Lyons. This is Aaron Bouplan there, the Rocky Mounts rider being called up to the line. He's had a fantastic season. We take a look at the entire field. It's just been a great year of racing. And you're looking at the silver medalist from the World Championships last year in Belgium, Danny Summerhill, and we hit out off the line. And let's see who's going to get that highly coveted hole shot. It looks like Brandon Dwight. It's going to take him out. Oh, they've already stuffed it up. First crash of the race happened within 50 meters of the line. You can see Paul Brooks right there, the Kodak Gallery rider, along with TJ Van Garderen getting caught out on the wrong end of that crash, forcing the issue. Brandon Dwight. So Dwight dropping in right now. You can see Matt Pasoka is up there. It looks like Brady Capias right there, along with Danny Summerhill. This selection in the first 5 minutes, it's so dynamic. It's unbelievable how intense it is. All the usual suspects on the front right now. Brandon Dwight taking the lead through the barrier section. How about Pasoka up in third? And as we take a look at this group, that's Judd Caribou, right out of Steamboat Springs. He's up in the mix. Yes, you did see a woman roll through. That was Luna Chick's rider, Georgia Gould. It's all kinds of sketchy through this barrier section. And Sean Harshman showing you exactly what can happen. Boy, 1 moment's inattention and you find yourself down on the deck with over 60 starters on the line. It really says a lot about cyclocross racing and the growth that we've seen in 2007. And just about every metric, because at the very front end of the group, top riders like Danny Summerhill coming out of Colorado, winning silver medals at the World Championships. We look at Joey Brenner, Steve Isles, the rest of this group coming through now. Look at Georgia Gould just throttling herself. Elite women athletes like to jump in with the elite men to hone their skills. As the rest of the field comes through, Jeremy Horgan-Kabelski, JHK, has gone to the front, and it looks like he has got a very elite group with him. That's Kurt Refsnyder right on the back. Fantastic job by Refsnyder to find himself up in the mix. We look at the field, Christian McCarthy, a rider who's trying to chase his way back to that group. Steve Isles comes through as well. Van Garderen coming through. He's up in the top 10 right now, but up in the top 3. How about Brandon Dwight, Matt Pasoka, and that man, Jeremy Horgan-Kabelski. Look at the power, the speed, the precision. Kabelski really does have good cross skills, considering he doesn't race on the cross bike much. You can see our junior riders. They're actually no longer juniors, now they're Espoirs. Espoir meaning a U23, under 23 years old. As far as your racing age, there's some heavy hitters still coming through. Every race has a rhythm, and this race is finding its rhythm right now up at the front. However, back to this group, it remains pandemonium each time over the barriers. Georgia Gould getting stuffed up just a little bit there as the guys kind of coming to grief on the barrier. Georgia right behind it. And boy, it's incredible to look at the talent that we've got in Colorado right now, up and over the barrier. We're going to have to go see what's going on in the front here in just a moment, because certainly an incredible ride being put together by Jeremy Horgan-Kabelski. Little dab there as that is tripoding their way around that corner. You're going to see quite a bit of that, dragging that third leg out, just trying to keep yourself from dumping the bike. There's Chris Case of the Boulder Cycle Sport team, one of the preeminent Colorado squads. You're looking at the elite men. It's 10 degrees outside right now, and you can see at the front, unbelievable Matt Pasoka, the technical editor for Velo News, and he's gotten that entire office out racing this year. Not at this level, this is the elite level, but you're looking at in the Cat 4s and the Cat 3s, there have been a good 10 different employees from Velo News showing up and racing this year, and certainly he has been the catalyst for that. And it says a lot about Matt Pasoka's love for the sport of cyclocross. Vitamin Cottage rider Christian McCarthy right behind him. It looks like John Caribou. We've talked about cyclocross and how unique the sport is, and another unique part of this discipline is the fact that the riders have a pit. They have a mechanic that will allow them to exchange bikes, as we're looking now at the scrump that's going on. Ooh, getting sideways, but holding on. Unbelievable bike handling from Pasoka. So Matt Pasoka leading things out right now. He's got these guys in a little bit of trouble, because there's Jeremy Horgan-Kabelski. Kabelski, his first cyclocross race of the year. He actually won last year, but then lost the title on a technicality as he didn't hold an ACA license. And so I don't get the feeling that JHK is all that worried about the title. It's a great way to come out and have some fun with your friends as we take a look at what was becoming a very intense section of the course. It's amazing. The more you look at the sport of cyclocross, the more you learn about the little things that these guys and ladies do. It looks like now we're starting to see Georgia Gould. She's in a very select group here. Georgia Gould, along with another rider that you have to call the pride of Colorado, that being Katie Compton. Katie raced her way to a top 8 finish in our elite men's race last year. This year she's over in Belgium as she's representing the United States as the UCI world #1 racer. So we don't have Katie Compton with us, but Georgia Gould certainly doing a great job. That is poetry in motion. My, oh my, Summerhill, Pasoka, JHK, and now Brandon Dwight starting to emerge. So Brandon Dwight is up in that group. It looks like he's where he wants to be. Kurt Refsnyder right behind them, and Christian McCarthy. Boy, I tell you, the Lyons 3:15 left the station, and if you're not on it, you got no chance for the win, because you can see it is absolute pandemonium on the front. So tough to stay in that lead group with these kind of sectors, with these barriers, because once you get a little bit of a gap, it's harder and harder to close that down throughout the race. Back to the front, now it's Summerhill. Summerhill punishing this group. Summerhill's got a gap, and you can see he's shredding. And you can see the damage that he is doing is extensive. That lead group is pinning it. We're going to take a very short break and join Brandon Dwight at Boulder Cycle Sport as we learn more about this fantastic sport of cyclocross.
As you approach the barrier or obstacle, you want to unclip with the right foot, swing your leg around the back of the saddle, bring your leg through, then unclip with the left foot. You'll be simultaneously either lifting the bike in the suitcase method or reaching for the down tube and shouldering it. After you've cleared the barrier or the obstacle and you're ready to remount the bike, you want to plant your left foot firmly into the ground, and basically you just need to commit and jump onto the saddle so that you land on your inner thigh. Then you center yourself onto the saddle, trying to find your right pedal as quickly as you can. Clip in with the right, then clip in with your left pedal, and sprint off to the races.
So as we pick up the action, we are here in Lyons, midway point now for our elite men. We're looking now back at one of the chasing groups, the man they call Boops, Aaron Bouplon. It's constantly unraveling. It's very organic at the front right now. You can see they've just decimated this group, but who continues to drop bombs? That man, Summerhill. It looks like he is throwing down again. His teammate Brady Capias there, hanging on. Look at Summerhill through this section. Nobody is as smooth as he is. A distinct advantage. You can see other riders coming to a complete stop as they come off the bike. Summerhill's able to carry his momentum through, and that is the sweet science of cyclocross. Summerhill probably has, along with Brandon Dwight, the best technical skills in this group. It's not just a matter of having a big engine, but the ability to navigate this course, and this is what cyclocross is all about. No other sport allows you to pit like this, where each rider will have a designated mechanic, and if he needs to, change tire pressure, recover from a flat tire, any mechanical issue, or for that matter, just get a clean bike. Today, the bikes aren't really picking up any mud. The drivetrain should stay fairly clean. It's so cold, it's just frozen solid. The temperature now has dropped below 10 degrees. Jeremy Horgan-Kabelski making his move here as he's got Summerhill with him. You can see the other riders hanging on in that group as Brandon Dwight comes through. He's got Matt Pasoka right ahead of him. This is one of the best rides Pasoka has put together this season. What a great day to do it as you are joining us in the final few laps of the Colorado State Cyclocross Championships held in a freezing cold day in Lyons, Colorado. And it's all come down to this. As you're looking at Mike West, he's still up inside the top 10 trying to battle with that man as they have really locked horns out there as John Caribou comes through. Certainly the fans were outstanding. Just a hearty crowd on attendance, cheering on our riders today all over the course. What a big difference that makes as Georgia Gould gracefully through the barrier section. It's very interesting to see Cliff Bar's involvement with the sport. Lunachicks has been the preeminent women's team around the planet over the last 5-6 years. Riders like one of our favorites, Allison Dunlap, used to ride for that team. Allison was a rider who jumped in with this elite men's field. Summerhill, Horgan-Kabelski, and Pasoka. But you know, you got to go to 4 on that one because Brandon Dwight is in that selection. Brady Capias, another very experienced young Colorado rider trying to chase back our lead group. You can see the course doubles back on itself in multiple places, and at that moment you get a good feel for what the gap is. Look at the power. Beautiful right there. Just so pure. As Van Garderen passing, there's not a lot of places on this course to pass. What happens is this is one of the sections. So Van Garderen wanted to go into the barrier sector first, and he was able to get in there and get out and still hold on to the lead. As we take a look at John Caribou working hard. Caribou is actually a Masters racer. He's very competitive in the age-graded racing. As we take a look now at Steve Isles of the Co-Motion team. Isles looking very good. He's really had a strong cyclocross season as well as some top 5 rides throughout the season. Jake Wells through. Nice job by Jake today. Racer coming down from Vail. It really is the Colorado State Championships, and you can see the Tough Girl crew is out in full support. Riders certainly appreciate that out here today. It's a long hour, and Danny Summerhill is absolutely pinning it now. Summerhill has got Horgan-Kabelski and Brandon Dwight with him, and now we take a look at that group, and Pasoka is hanging on, so Pasoka is right there. There's a lot of back and forth action going on up in our lead group right now, but it really looks like it's come down to Horgan-Kabelski and Danny Summerhill. Summerhill taking his turn on the front. Summerhill's got a gap now. It looks like Dwight is the rider leading up the chase. So Horgan-Kabelski slotting in at 3rd. That's the way it is right now, is on the back of our lead group, Pasoka of Velonews. So he's made this elite selection. They continue to drop bombs, however. It goes back and forth as it's really body blow after body blow being delivered out there. This time, it looks like Jeremy Horgan-Kabelski has decided he's going to take his turn on the front, but I got to say, Summerhill looks pretty comfortable in 2nd. It looks like our lead group is unraveling. Horgan-Kabelski now giving up the lead because Summerhill is taking over. Look at Summerhill go. Phenomenal effort as the crowd is frenetic at this point. The cowbells are ringing, and the top riders in Colorado have clearly shown us who they are. As our lead group right now has got Jeremy Horgan-Kabelski. A gap is open back from Summerhill to Dwight. Everyone is going to be looking for that moment, trying to find an advantage. It is critical. We're down to last lap action, and it looks like now, it's going sideways. Summerhill finding a gap up through the inside. He's 300 meters from the line right now. Full-on pandemonium up in this lead group, as it looks like that was it for Kowalski, because Danny Summerhill is our Colorado State champion. The 18-year-old wins, with Brandon Dwight through for second, and JHK, Jeremy Horgan Kowalski, rounding out our top three.
Nice job.
Thank you very much for joining us here at the Colorado State Cyclo-cross Championships as we wrap up another season of racing, and we'll look forward to seeing you out on course next year.
Really fun.